afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA. In today's real user review, we are going to be taking a look at the Mystery Ranch 2-Day Assault Pack, or the 2DAP as it is commonly referred to. Now, before we begin, let's get the disclaimer out of the way. I am not affiliated with Mystery Ranch in any way. I bought this bag with my own money, and in fact, I bought it used off a member from the Perfect Pack Facebook group, so it is not even coming from Mystery Ranch themselves. I simply wanted to get myself a birthday present backpack, and this was the bag that I landed on. And now that that's out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and do a spec and feature rundown of the bag. The 2DAP comes in at $199 USD. It is currently offered in 4 colors: black, coyote, foliage, and forest. The bag weighs in at 3 pounds. It's 1,650 cubic inches, or roughly 27 liters. The suspension system comes in a small, medium, or large, extra large. This is because all humans, we're not the same size, so sometimes you'll require a smaller harness system, sometimes you'll require a larger harness system, so you buy it depending upon your body type, and then you use all of the adjustability to dial it in. The materials are a 500D Cordura and YKK zippers. The 2DAP is the classic Mystery Ranch tri-zip bag. It features some moly webbing across the front and sides of the bag. It also features 2 exterior water bottle pockets. The lid of the bag has 2 quick stash pockets. The bag features a fully adjustable suspension system with load lifters to really dial in your carry. There is a rear laptop access to the bag, and all of the zippers are YKK AquaGuard. Inside the bag we have a floating laptop sleeve, and in front of that we have a tablet holder. The bag also features a loop so you can hang a water bladder. You have 2 side zipper pockets, and further down across the front of the bag we actually have 2 more liner pockets that have some 3-dimensional depth to it, one on each side of the wings. And now on to the actual real user review, and as always we're going to go ahead and start with the negative points so we can end on a positive note. And to be completely honest, there's not that many negatives to this bag, but one of those is the grab handle, and that's because it's just a single thin piece of webbing. I feel like this should be just a little bit more burly, a little more bulky, because this bag is 27 liters. So if you fill this up, it's gonna be quite full. So having just like a little bit of padding on this strap, I think that's gonna really help in actually using it, because if the bag is pretty full, this is gonna be a lot of weight, and one piece of single webbing, it's gonna kind of dig into your hand. So I might be nitpicking that a little bit, but hey, everything can't be perfect. And this, I think, could have a little bit of improvement on it. And moving on to the next negative. These 2 little hard to see grommets right here. Now with this bag having YKK AquaGuard zippers throughout, it's made to keep water and debris out of the bag. Now if I'm using this bag for a hike and it happens to rain and I set the bag on the ground, I now have 2 open holes on the bottom of the bag that could potentially let water into the bag, getting my stuff inside wet. Now yes, they are covered by the webbing, so you can't really see them, but the webbing itself is pretty thin, so if the ground is kind of saturated, when I set this down, they're easily gonna get wetted out, and water can come inside the bag, getting my stuff inside wet. So I personally prefer to not have grommets on the bottom of the bag. Now the grommets that are on the water bottle pockets, they're fine, because if I'm using a packable water bottle or anything like that and it gets punctured and it leaks, I prefer to have the grommet down there, because then it would allow it to drain out instead of pool up inside this pocket, then potentially coming through the fabric to get to the inside of the bag. So grommets on the water bottle pockets, if I can find the other one, they're a plus. Grommets on the bottom of the bag, that's a big negative. Now I know that Mystery Ranch, this bag is modeled from, it's not mil spec, but it's modeled from military spec'd out bags, so I'm sure they serve a purpose of drainage, but as an EDC or a bag that you could potentially use hiking, I think that's a big flaw to have an open hole on the bottom of the bag. So that would be my only 2 real negatives of this bag. Are the grab handle, I think, could be a little bit beefier, and to just remove the grommets from the bottom of the bag. Now we have some neutral points and then into the positives. The size of this bag. Now this is a 27 liter pack. Now This might be more of a personal preference, but I think if I'm going to be using an EDC pack, I personally prefer my bags to be like 22 to 25 liters. Now, it doesn't seem like that much of a difference, but I feel like if I'm not fully packing this bag out and I'm carrying it, doing something with the family at an event at a park or something, taking it to work, just out and about in the city for the day, I feel like if I don't have it completely loaded out, I got a whole lot of extra space, a lot of extra material I'm just lugging around for no reason. So I personally like to see this bag be like a little bit smaller. Now, you don't really have much of an option. You have the ASAP, which is about 20 liters, the 1DAP, which is about 20 liters and super hard to get in America. They did just have a drop from Sierra Designs, and really expensive if you want to go the eBay route. And then the 3DAP, which is like just under 34 liters. So I'd like to see that sweet spot of something like the Coolie that's like 25 liters, but that's a hiking pack. I'd like to see maybe that 25 liter size put into a salt pack lineup. That would just be, for me anyway, that'd be perfect. Now moving on to the next neutral point, and I forgot what it is, so I'm gonna look at my little notebook. There's no water bladder port. I knew it was something simple. The back of this bag has no water bladder port. Now the quick fix is the rear access laptop compartment. You just unzip that a little bit and you could fish through your hose for your water bladder right through there. Now there is no dedicated spot on the bag for water bladder tube to come out, but if you're using a water bladder, you're not using your laptop because you shouldn't be mixing a water bladder with a laptop anyway. So you just simply pop it through and then you can cinch this up enough to actually, the zipper, since it's an AquaGuard zipper, it zips easily. It's a very nice zipper, but it doesn't just drop. So you don't really have to worry about the zipper coming unzipped on your back while you have the tube coming out because it's not completely closed. Now for me, I'm not much of a water bladder guy, I'm a water bottle guy, so that's by no means gonna bother me at all. But for some people, that might be a deal breaker if they're gonna be using this more as an outdoor bag, hiking, or if they're even just, some people go to amusement parks, and in the summer, depending on where you are in the world, it gets hot, like really, really hot and humid. So some people might use a water bladder, and if there's no dedicated port for it to come out, that might be a deal breaker to some people. For me, it doesn't matter, but for other people, it might be something to make them choose a different bag. So it's definitely a point of note. Moving on to the next one, I'm gonna look in the notebook again, the laptop sleeve. There is a lot of space in there. So if you have a slimmer laptop like a MacBook Pro or anything along the lines of those dimensions, your laptop might bounce around just a little bit in there. But on the plus side, it is a little bit big, so anyone that has a larger laptop, like say this Dell gaming laptop, which is quite bulky, it actually fits really well inside the laptop sleeve. Now this shouldn't be a deal breaker for anyone if you have a thinner laptop. It's just a point of note. You can stick something in there like some foam or like a bandana or a shemagh. It'll help take up some of that space so the laptop's not bouncing around, and it'll add a little bit extra padding to it if you want. And if you put like something like a piece of foam in there, they're generally easily compressible, I almost said combustible, compressible, so it's not going to really take up much more space in there either, and it's something you can just pull out with the laptop when you're not using it. And that's about it. There's not many bad things to say about this bag because Mystery Ranch, they made a great product. I was actually quite blown away by this bag. Now I have the Mystery Ranch In-N-Out 19, completely unrelatable to this bag. I did have for a very short period of time the Mystery Ranch Front, which I only had it for like maybe 2 weeks, and the build quality was so superb, but it just didn't fit my needs. So instead of me trying to force my needs into the bag or just making the bag lay around being useless, I just moved it along. So I kind of flipped it pretty quickly. I didn't use it that much, and that was because it wasn't large enough for me. It was 19 liters, so it was just a little bit too small. So it just didn't quite fit my needs for my EDC. But this 2DAP, I am so completely blown away by and happy with. I mean, the suspension system is probably the most comfortable I have ever used in a backpack. And I've used a lot of backpacks, but this really, really is a comfortable, well-built bag. We're gonna get into why, but I just wanna preface it by saying I was really blown away by this pack. I will also say the tri-zip design it doesn't really, it doesn't suit my needs as well as I thought it would. I never really, again, I only had the front for a short period of time. I didn't really, it's not my personal favorite EDC layout, but the comfort of this bag is unbeatable. So, but we're gonna go ahead and start with all the positives. And one of those positives is gonna start right here with the outside of the bag in these AquaGuard zippers. Now they operate nicely. They actually are nice and smooth. Everything opens as it should. In my experience, a lot of times these zippers, they get stuck a little bit because the rubber just kind of hangs up, but these all zipper and function just as they're supposed to. All of them do. The pockets, the laptop compartment, everything opens and closes very nicely. And there is a little bit of retention because they are AquaGuard, but they actually all work very smoothly. Everything operates as it should, which makes me very, very happy. And while we're on the outside of the bag, we have our suspension system. As I said, it is completely adjustable. And for those of you that don't know how to adjust it, I'm gonna go ahead and mess up my setup. I'm not gonna completely take it apart, but I'll mess up with my load lifters. To do so, you peel this open and you take out the frame sheet back here. You'll see, it's hard to see black on black, but this is the frame sheet for just the harness. Now, what you'll do is, right down in here, if I tip the bag the other way, it might be easier to see. Right down in here, between the actual backpack and the harness, you can hear, wait, it's all hook and loop all the way down. So what you do is you take this, you stick it in there, and you break the bond. Now, it's good, sturdy hook and loop. It's probably actual Velcro brand. And what you'll do is you'll push this all the way down, you'll break that whole bond, and then you can adjust the harness up or down depending upon where you need it. When you're done, pull this back out, push it back in, put the bag on to make sure it holds, it carries right. And once you're done, you just take your harness or your frame sheet, you slide it back into your harness, tuck it in there, and then this piece will Velcro right back down, and if you get it right, it will fold down perfectly. And then you'll see what I loosened in the beginning were my load lifters. There are these two tabs. Once you wear the bag, you'll just kind of adjust these load lifters. And as I said, this is the most comfortable harness that I've ever had in a backpack. It's great. I've heard people raving about the Mystery Ranch for years and years and years, that they're super, super comfortable. I've been using this now for probably close to a month every day, and I could say this is super, super comfortable. It feels beefy and bulky, but it doesn't feel that way on your back. It doesn't feel, it's not heavy. The padding on the shoulder straps is great. It's thick, but it's not too thick. It does compress enough, and you have air mesh on here to kind of help with the breathability. It's just getting warm here in Pennsylvania, so I didn't really test this out in tons of 90-degree heat. We had 1 week last week where it was in the 90s, and it wore well for my EDC needs, but I didn't take this on any long family trips in the heat because, again, it just started getting warm. And now this week we're back down into like the low to mid 70s, and it's crappy and rainy out, so there's not too much going on. One other thing while we're on the outside of the bag, as you can see, I don't have it attached now, it's in the lid, but the waist belt is detachable. There's just nylon loops on either side of the bag, and you'll just feed the ends of this through each side on the bag, and then you have a nice flex patent pending nylon buckle to hold it together. I haven't used this because I don't personally like waist hip belts that much, and I didn't take this hiking, so I didn't have a need for this. I do have a hiking day pack, so I didn't actually need to use this for hiking at all. That's not my intended use for this bag anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and put that back in a pocket so we don't lose it. But I do love that the hip belt is removable for people like me that don't like the hip belts. I like that I can take it off. I hate when there's an attached hip belt, especially on a bag that I really like. It's really functional, but then the hip belt is attached to it and it's just dangling. It's in the way a lot. And there's a couple packs that I could think of that I really liked, but I hated the fact that I had to have the hip belt attached to it all the time. So having a removable hip belt, that's a huge, huge positives for me. Now, a lot of people also don't like lots of webbing and the molly on the front. It gives it a tactical look. I don't care about that. It doesn't bother me. As you can see, I have two of these orange carabiners strung through here. It's a quick and easy way to strap something to there. I can strap some hand sanitizer. I can strap a mask if I'm out and I don't need it if I'm hiking. I didn't hike with this bag, but I do have them on my hiking pack, so I can strap a mask to it so it's quickly accessible, not inside the bag or inside my pocket, but I can keep it dangling off the back. And one thing that I've been doing is keeping a pen on the outside in the webbing, because I have to sign in every day when I go to work that my temperature is in a normal range. So I keep a pen super handy right there on the outside of the bag, along with, make sure I pull out backwards, my work ID with, in the same side I keep my extra little crap that I need quick access to. So I keep all of that on the outside of the bag, and I just love that the webbing extends to the side of the bag because I can stick my pen right there so it's out of the way. It's not on the front looking a bit obscene on the front of the bag. It's kind of out. That's why I put this little light black pen there, because A, I don't care if I lose it, if it gets bumped and falls out, because it's kind of a cheap pen, and it's black so it kind of blends in pretty good with the webbing. And before we get to the inside of the bag, I want to talk about the external laptop access. Now, it is very easy to use. It works very well. I've had no problems getting my laptop in or out of the bag. It works great. I can easily grab the laptop out, do what I need to do, toss it back in, especially if I don't need my tech pouch. And for a bag like this with the tri-zip design, it's great to have external access for your laptop only, especially if you don't need to get your tech kit, because you only have one zipper to deal with instead of two zippers that you'll have to unzip, flip back, and then get in. I only have to do one quick zip on the back of the bag, and it's pretty inconspicuous in there. You don't even really know it's there, so it's not like it's an easy thievery pocket that a thief can get into, especially if you have your zipper tucked away up top in the zipper garage. So now with that out of the way, let's move on to the inside of the bag. Now this is my standard daily EDC without my laptop or tech kit, because I haven't been taking them with me too much, so this is a pretty good depiction of my standard everyday carry. So we have an admin panel with some paperwork, bills and stuff that have to get paid, because everything is not all pay online. A video notebook so I can jot down ideas for videos or specs and reminders and positives and negatives of bags. Keep a journal in the back for non-video related writing of things. I have my battery bank tool roll, which also has like the charging cable for my phone, the dongle for my phone, stuff like that. Little tool kit here that has things like a Swiss Army knife, a multi-tool, a Write in the Rain notebook, lighter, scissors, stuff like that. And then what I've been doing to combat those grommets that are on the bottom of the bag is I have this little VX pouch that has like some packable tote bags and a couple extra carabiners, so for out anywhere and we need to go to an Aldi or something like that and we need some packable bags for groceries, I keep them with me all the time, and this VX bag is great. I lay it across the bottom and it helps cover up those extra 2 grommets on the bottom of the bag, so stuff inside will stay dry. And then on these wing pockets I have just this standard boo-boo kit that I got on Amazon that I supplemented with a few extra things. And here's the backup to that, because when you have a 2-year-old, you need to carry some extra creams and lotions and some princess band-aids with you, because you never know what's gonna happen. Then the other wing we have another little pouch with a packable outdoor research rain jacket, because you never know when you're gonna get caught in the rain. Then we have these 2 zipper pockets across the top. This one I have another pouch that has like extra masks and junk like that, stuff that I'd like to keep with me that I don't need quick access to, because I usually have a mask, but sometimes it might get dirty, or if we're in my wife's car, I might run out the house without him, so I like to keep some extras with me in my backpack. And this other one is kind of empty right now. I just have a little flashlight in there, but I do usually throw my daughter's snacks in here. I did keep them in one of these top pockets for a little while, but I found that I ended up throwing other junk in here, so it was better to just keep this pocket nice and empty for the snacks, because the bigger pocket is kind of like a dump catch-all. I was modifying a backpack, so I have some pins and some scissors and some threads in here and some needles and stuff. I was doing some work on a backpack, and that's what's in the big pouch, which is where I was keeping the snacks, but I ended up throwing all this junk. This is my dump pouch. This is my catch-all, the bigger one. And then the little one has the waist belt so I don't lose it. Pop it. Pop it. Gotta entertain those 2-year-olds. Oh, extra mask for the daughter that I forgot was in there. And a couple extra journals. And a pen. Now, one of the huge positives of the inside of this bag are these pockets that are on each side of the wing. I at first thought that these were going to be terrible because I thought they were going to get filled out, they're going to be bulky, and then when I closed the bag, it was just going to be like this bulk that was just taking up all the internal space of the bag. But I found out if I take flat items like a relatively thin boo-boo kit, stick that on one side, and then items that aren't totally flat but are kind of compressible a little bit, and to put those on the other side, I have quick access to Band-Aids and quick access to my rain jacket when I need them. And when I close the bag, it still doesn't take up a ton of space inside the bag. I still have a lot of area between the pouch and the bag, especially on this side that's a little bit thinner with the first aid kit in there. When it's closed, I still have a ton of space. So I really thought that these two pockets were pretty much going to be completely unused, and it was just going to be this bulk fabric that was getting in the way. And I found out that they're actually one of my favorite features of the bag. I really, really, really like these pouches. Now the top zipper, these are also great because I can stick things in here, especially when they're snacks and she asks for a lollipop. When it's packed out, I can kind of see in there and tell if I have a lollipop or have M&Ms. I can tell what snacks are in there for my daughter. So it's not like a ton of crazy organization, but it's just enough to really, really dial in and organize your carry. And again, these pockets, they don't get in the way of putting all of your other stuff inside your bag because they are designed really well for these flat items that I can just stick a couple of these flatter items in here, and it doesn't take up any room really inside this pack. I can still get all of my daily EDC inside this bag very easily, and I still have room for when I want to throw my laptop in my tech kit or really a lot of other things in here. I have plenty of room, everything fits in there, and there's still a ton of space inside this bag for incidentals. Like if I stop at the grocery store on my way home from work and I'm on my scooter, I still have room to throw a couple things in this bag so I don't have to have plastic bags dangling off my scooter, which is not safe because then I'm looking at the plastic bag to make sure that doesn't break or fall, and I'm not paying attention when I'm driving a motorized vehicle. So I could still fit all of my EDC plus groceries in there because the organization, it does well. Those wings, when the bag is closed, it does good with flatter things. It holds them away from the interior of the bag, so you still have plenty of space. And then one other thing, which is why I haven't closed the lid, is that one thing I didn't like with the front, and I do love with the 2DAP, is that this lid, it folds all the way back. So I can see down into my bag. I can see everything in there. The front, it kind of like, it would come to like about here, and then I'd have to use one hand to hold it to push it back. But with the 2DAP, I'm thinking it's more of the design. The front seemed to taper. The front seemed to come to the top and kind of like slim up. So I think that design prevented the lid from kind of flopping all the way back. But this doesn't, this seems to be more of a tube than a taper. So the lid flops back nicely so I can see in there. I can use two hands to get into the bag. I'm not using one hand to hold the lid back so I can dig around with the other hand. So I have full access and visual of what's inside the bag. and I could see easily inside these wings, inside my mesh pockets. I'd be able to get my laptop out. If my tech kit was in here, I could get all of that out nicely. So overall, you can't see me, can you? My impressions and thoughts, Mystery Ranch 2DAP. This is a very well thought out bag. It's designed, it's probably over designed. It's super, super sturdy, super durable, super robust, super comfortable. It's a really, really, really great bag. Personally for me, I think the tri-zip design, it's not my personal flavor of bags, but it functions so well. I really love it. There are times when I do flay the whole bag open to find what I'm looking for, and I like that. I like that I can get that full access to inside the bag, and I don't need to have full access if I don't necessarily want it. So it's more like a roll top. So if you only want to look down and grab stuff on top, you open it, just the lid, and it functions like a roll top bag where it's just like a tube. But if you need complete access to the bag, it's more like a clamshell or a panel loader. When you flay it all the way open, you can really see everything inside the bag. So, I mean, it's a great bag. So if you were on the fence with, should I get a 2DAP? I mean, for $199 USD, brand new for these things, and you can find them for like 150, 160 used, in really, really great shape. I think you definitely should try it. If you're unsure if you're going to use the tri-zip, you're going to like the tri-zip. This was my first true experience with the Mystery Ranch tri-zip bag. Again, the front, I only had it for about 2 weeks before I moved it along, and that was because the bag was just too small for my needs. I loved the bag. The build quality was great, but I needed a little more space. I needed like 4 more liters of space. I didn't need 8 more liters of space, but I mean, this bag is a little bit big as an EDC for me, but the quality of this thing is so incredible. I'm actually blown away by how comfortable this bag was. Overall, if you're on the fence thinking about any of the Mystery Ranch bags, any of them at all, tri-zip or not, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I've not had a bad experience with Mystery Ranch. They're great bags, great product. Go ahead and try them. But if you're thinking about the 2DAP, pull the trigger on it. This bag is phenomenal. Very happy with this bag. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications next time I post a brand new video. Good night.